Hey, welcome to Turbo Time. This is a quick video that's been requested on how to use a Logitech G29 steering wheel with a Nintendo Wii U. Now, this is not a complete guide because I've still got issues with the accelerator and the brake, but everything else is mapped perfectly, and I'm hoping to fix said issue with the accelerator and brake soon. So let's have a quick look at what we've got. So this is an SD card, if I just focus there. This is an SD card, and on it, as you can see, I've got a Wii U folder and an apps folder, and inside that there are various applications which will run from the homebrew launcher. Now, I will post a link on how to get the homebrew launcher running on the latest firmware. Go ahead, do that, but after that it's up to you to pick up the HID test and the HID-to-VPAD app and drop them in this folder. So as you can see, when you want to run homebrew on a Nintendo Wii U, you have to have an ELF file inside each of the folders inside the apps folder. So you can see there's an ELF file for these two there. So these are the two programs that we're going to be using to get the Logitech G29 working on the Nintendo Wii U. So as you can see so far, that's what I'm showing you, those two folders. If we go up a directory, we'll also see a controller folder, and this is where we do the configuration. So basically, we create a new text file in here and rename it at the end to an INI file. That's all that they are. So I'll just right click, properties, and hopefully, now this is coming from an SD card, so there's a slight delay in getting the properties of this. Not quite sure why it's taking so long. There we go. So this is an INI file. So basically, create the file with Notepad, change the text extension from TXT to INI, and that'll give you the INI file. But the contents of it, I'll also post on here. So what I should tell you is, if we just go over to the G29. So obviously we've got a standard Logitech G29 pedals, but it's plugged in via a mayflash adapter, which allows me to use it on different consoles. Now, although the G29 does actually have a little switch on the top just here for PS3 and PS4, I found that the hex values that were coming back were slightly confusing. So if you do have hold of one of these mayflash adapters, then please plug it in there and select D input or PS3. Seems strange, but at least I've got some good values for this. By all means, the method that I'm using, you should be able to get it working any other way, but this is just a standard HID, a HID device that you should be able to take the values from and get running directly at some point on the Wii U. So let's go back and have a quick look at one of the files that we have here, which is the mayflash one, and this is the one that I had most luck on. So just very quickly editing it, you can see here we've just got some very simple. That is the vid and the PID. I think the VID and the PID basically say this is the piece of hardware that we're going to use. Now, all Logitech G29s, I believe, will have this same vid and PID if they're the same vintage. Then I've got some mappings for the gamepad. So obviously the gamepad is referring to the Nintendo pad with a screen on. And here, as you can see, I'm just defining what button A should be looking for, what button B, X, Y, so on and so forth. And that's it. The biggest problems I have is with the triggers. The triggers on certain games like Mario Kart, the accelerator and brake, and these triggers are digital buttons on the pad, but on the G29, they're analog kind of, joysticks. So that's where I'm having a problem. I need to work out what values to go in here in order to make the accelerator and brake map to the VPADs ZL and ZR. The rest of it, D-pad, again, you can. That was very easy to do. And the thumbsticks, I've only done a couple. I think I did left and right mapping to the, where are we? So you can see here we've got, if this is correct, that's the left stick X, which is basically left and right. And I've also got the the left stick saying invert false, meaning left means left and right means right. So that's it. That's all I'm doing in order to get the G29 working. I'll paste that into the YouTube comments or at least description. So what we do now, we've got that in the controller, and we've obviously got the hidden DID there. I'll just inject this SD card, this micro SD card from my Surface Pro. Oops, sorry about that. It's very dark. So I'll just put it in the micro SD card slot. One moment while I do that. Okay, so there it is. Sorry for the lighting, it's incredibly poor. I'll try and improve that. And I'm going to put it inside the Nintendo Wii U. I'll also turn the Nintendo Wii U off, and I'll power it back on again just to make sure that it is correctly. Wow, it's so poor, this lighting. Let me try shutting the curtains just to stabilise that. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, better. Perfect. So obviously now you've got a better idea of what's going on. So there's the Wii U, and I'm just going to power on now. Now again, this is just a standard Wii U. You can pick up from a store. It's on the latest firmware. I think that's 5.5.1. Sony 4K 55-inch TV, and the Logitech G29. This is a device from Mayflash, which you can also pick up for about £30 or something like that, which allows you to play the G29 on the Xbox One, Xbox 360. It's useful. It's really useful. Okay. So again, once again, you should in theory be able to get this connected up to the Wii without the Mayflash, and you should be able to get the hex values. So all I'm going to do now is get myself the pad and very quickly boot to the homebrew channel. So hopefully it'll readjust and get used to the light. Perfect. Okay, so booting to the homebrew channel is as simple as going to the internet browser. Going to the web page lodin.ovh, and then it basically asks you what you want to do. Now I'm just going to hit launch or submit. There we go. And due to a small bug in the web browser, I'm hoping it correctly boots. There we go, to the homebrew channel. So this is just allowing you access to the Wii U apps folder on the SD card and the programs that you've got in there, which are written specifically to run on the Wii U. So in order to kind of figure out all those hex values, we use HID-test. So yeah, I want to load that. I'll just pull back for a second. So if I take this with us, we should be able to see. Let's position it a little bit better. So I am going to press the X button, and as you can see, we have a couple of values coming up there. One of them is in position 0, 0. It changes to 0, 2. So all I did is I mapped, or I typed in the correct values in the ini file to represent X. And if we map X, it would be B. So obviously, again, apologies, but X on the PlayStation pad would be equivalent of B there. So all I did is press the correct buttons, note down the values, and then just put them in the ini file, and away we went. So again, it's big thanks there to Michelle, Maschel even, you know, that's written this software. It's really very useful. So once I'd done all that, and I'd created the ini file and dropped it in there, it gives us the ability now to run the next piece of homebrew. So that was just the setting up. Hopefully, if I've done all the setting up for you, you can just copy my ini contents into a file and it should work. The next one is to actually run HID-to-VPAD. And it says there, it's found 2 valid config files, if you remember which ones they were. One was for the G29 direct and one was for the G29 when plugged through the Mayflash. So that's it. So I'm just going to hit A, it returns back to the home screen. There we go, just going into the homebrew channel now. Oh, straight back to the home screen, so that's great. So that's it, you know, that homebrew is now running in the background silently, and it's basically allowing us, let's see if I can do this properly. So as you can see, if I move right on the joypad, in fact let's get the let's get this here. So I push left here and right. As you can see, left and right is on the again, apologies for such poor lighting for this. There we go. But yeah, as I hit left and right here, it will adjust left and right on the gamepad. That obviously will go into a folder. It should do at least. Oh, there we go. As you can see, it went into the folder. I'll just come back out. And again, turning right and left on the wheel will, obviously it's very similar to using the right and left here. So that's pretty much what I've done. Everything's configured correctly. So if we go into a game, which I'll do now, like Mario Kart, which I've got at the top there. I'll boot up, obviously up there as well. So clearly I've obviously stated that I haven't yet mapped the pedals to the triggers on the front, ZL and ZR. That's my problem, and that's what I need to find a solution for. Once I've done that, the wheel will be completely set up and it'll be usable. So what I'm going to do right now is just show you that everything works apart from those two right now. So I'm going to select single player, and again I'm just using the controls on here, but it is very difficult with one hand on an iPhone and another on the wheel. So single player, hit the wrong one, I hit B. Single player, in we go, Grand Prix, and again if I just come back slightly, just selecting the default options. Okay. Yeah, technically I guess I could map these temporarily to do the acceleration or something, but of course we want the pedals. So for now I may have to, for this demonstration, I may have to set the camera up. I'll get somebody else to help with this. Okay, get through all of that. Okay, so I'm using A right now for that. So I'm using A on the wheel. Ooh, absolutely nowhere. Let's have a look down here, it's probably easier. Turn around. I'm just making it look more difficult than it is, but the range of turning seems to be okay. It's not terrible. Very difficult to play one-handed while trying to make a video. So as you can see, the wheel's working absolutely fine and the range of motion's quite good, and the force feedback, it's powered on, so you're getting kind of resistance but not proper force feedback. There we go. So that's it really. I'll just see if I can go onto the home. And I'm back, I'll close that, come out of there. So that's as far as I've got. I've got absolutely everything mapped correctly, apart from the analog pedals to the Z, L and the ZR of the pad. If anybody knows how to do that, the values that I need to use, that'll be great. I'm going to give you the example INI file that I have, but I could really use a hand to getting those pedals working on the digital buttons of the VPAD. This has been Turboman UK, quick video on the advances I've managed to make in getting the G29 working with the Wii U. Thanks very much, catch you on the other side.